Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So the latest server that the players have been messing around with is Scraplands. Now Scraplands is a rather unique concept. The idea of it is pieces of scrap hang out around the place, crash landed over time, and there's no mining, there's no digging, so players have to scavenge all the supplies that you're about to see here. So we're going to take a tour of the server today, see what players have managed to construct in a week. So the first base we're taking a look at is the DBS outpost. So you can see we've got a good selection of small ships over here. We've got some large ones with these giant swords on the end. I guess they plan on dueling these or ramming them into the enemy. They've got some mini welder type ships here. And if we come over to this little part of the facility, just check this out. They've got another mini printer. They've got access to the base itself. That's just like a big frozen storage warehouse. A very cold planet Triton is. So as we come over here, it looks like there's some new construction being developed. They're developing these interesting cube-like structures. Over here we've got a 3D printer on a rail, so you can see the wheels inside there. This slides back and forth, printing off some of their larger rovers, and they've got a little instructional pad there as well. Let's have a quick look over at these rovers in this area. So it looks like we've got a grinding robot, very important for survival on this planet because you need to get scrap and you need to get scrap fast. They've also got a few of these cool little turret pads around the base, so a very nice outpost from DBS. Let's continue on. So next on our list we actually have SGC. So as we come over here, we'll try not to go for the planet too much. We have the SGC outpost. Now, it looks like there's a lot going on. We've got some sort of ship structure to the side there. Let's turn the light on there so we can see a little bit better. They're building some giant ship type rover. Look at all them wheels. I've not seen this many sort of wheels on a rover on the server before, so we'll have to see how that performs. It looks like they're stretching out the rear of the vessel there. Maybe some sort of sailing ship combined with battle rover. Look at the amount of interior turrets down the side. This thing is gonna be insane if it ever gets completed, that is. So as we come over to their main outpost, it looks like they've got themselves a hangar, some sort of, I'm not too sure what this could be. It looks like the terrain is all vertically prepped. Is it some sort of vehicle? Not too sure. Is it some sort of bunker, landing bay, wheel testing thing? I'm honestly not too sure. Over here they've got a little gated hangar section with some more of the rovers in here, and inside their main hangar they've got an extension pipe that probably leads into a base or something that's tucked in here behind the scenes. Another little battle rover here. This one is mounted with a scrap welding arm, so they can grind, or not welding arm, a grinding arm, so they can grind down scrap as they travel across the land. So as we come up here, we've got the upper base segment on this plateau. A little bit of a grinder pit for scrapping old rover designs, missile turrets, and just really nice little outpost on the top of the hill overlooking the lower outpost down there. There's also some other rovers that look like they've been crashed or damaged. I'm not sure if this is a spawned in wreck or this is one of the rovers that they've been working with. It looks like one of the rovers, or they've tried to get some sort of scrap working. Very cool indeed. Let's head over to TLF. So jumping onto our admin menu here, we're going to assign TLF over here. So we'll bring ourselves up to terrain level. And it looks like TLF have tried to convert one of the existing wreckages. So you can see there's one of the wreckages going on there. They've obviously used some Ricardo propaganda, as you do. You can see that they've propped this up, and it looks like they're kind of working out of this ship. They've got the British and German flags, maybe a coalition of a project. And over here they're working on this large battle rover that almost looks like a submarine, doesn't it? A submarine with wheels to some degree. Behind here we've got some giant wheels tucked in. We've got this platform that they're working on underneath to keep things stable. Lots of connectors indeed. And then you've got the submarine itself, the conning tower. Let's have a quick peep inside, see how the construction's going. So it looks like they've got a lot to build down here. Wow, it looks pretty damn cool. They've got a ramp as well at the front there to launch ships out of. So it's quite hollow in the middle. Lots of buttons though. I don't know what these are all going to be wired up to do. Very cool submarine layout. Nice to see something like that indeed. It looks like they've also got landing gears here through the pads to connect up other ships. Anyway, let's continue moving around the server. So next on our list is ARC. So ARC have a few different little bits that are laid out all over the place. So we've got this small outpost type base with a little bit of a turret over there. Pretty cool. A few little rovers tucked around this area. So it looks like some sort of abandoned outpost that maybe has took a bit of damage or been overtaken by them. Let's continue having a look around some of the ACR structures. So as I come over into this area, we've got another ACR type outpost. Let me just make sure I am getting that right. They're not two different factions. Yes, they are ACR. So we've got this ACR one going on in the hills with different coloured rovers and these little turret pads that look really cool. Can definitely ditch out some firepower. We've also got a wreck that's crashed up here, just pretty much in range of their base for them to scavenge. Maybe it was there when they started. And they've got some scavenging ships right here. This one's got a double pivot arm with a grinder. You can see the whole evolution. The engineering aspect has been changed because there is no mining. The grinding vessels have to be developed. We've got a grinder like on a two-wheel design there. I'm guessing that's Voids. He tends to do stuff like that. And then we've got the base in here itself with these sleek looking staircases leading inside to a little bit of a briefing room. Very, very nice indeed. Let's check if there's any more ACR outposts because I'm not seeing everything here. We can just have a quick flick through some of their blocks here. So that was the one. Have we seen this one yet? No, this is the lower part of their base. So we had a look at the upper part. They've got a pipe leading down to the lower section. Of course, more grinder type vessels. This one on a piston arm that goes up and down. We've got these battle rovers taking shape down here. We've got one with a giant grinder on the front, and it looks like this one, I think he's one of Ogre's designs, because usually these have missile launchers here. But I think he's just added that attachment on so he can grind. I guess he can blast through that if he does need to fire his missile launchers. But look at the amount of turrets on the side of this thing. This is not something you want to mess with. Coming up into this area, this could possibly be a wreck or something they've tried to get some wheels on and bring it up into this sort of base area here. Very cool indeed. A lot going on over at this outpost. Let's jump to the next one. So we've had a look at ARC. Next up in the list, we've had a look at the DBS stuff already. I can quickly flick through the various grids there so you can see it. But we're over at IMS. IMS have a very, very pretty outpost indeed. So you can see if we bring the sun over here, we'll go onto the admin menu and just do a little bit of sunshine. There we go. You can see we've got this lovely creamy white type base. We've got some of these solar powered defense turrets around the sides. We've got a lower sort of loading area so you can dock up, and it looks like some sort of car, maybe exchange area, that's trading department. I know some of the players have been trading, and it's very important for Scraplands that you have docks around your base so the scrappers can come and dock and take the scrap that you've been collected as a sort of tax. Anyway, let's keep having a look around. So inside their hangar, we've got a nice selection of rovers. Just look at the layout of this place though, isn't it beautiful? We've got this little catwalk going up above. We've got a mighty pink rover. We've got different grinding variants with the two arms on either side, using all the rotor limits pretty much, but we've got this larger chunker one over here with hydrogen storage. But the important thing as well is, remember, you can't get hydrogen as easily on this server, so you're going to need to siphon it out of wrecks. So you're going to need some sort of siphoning design. But coming back into this area, we've got ourselves a printing arm and a printer right there, with some smaller rovers tucked in this section. Quite a big interior base. Lots of storage for smaller rovers. This looks like some sort of gun truck. It looks like it's had some action, a bit beat up, but it's got a large turret on the back there. Very, very cool base from IMS. Anyway, let's continue on. So jumping back onto the menu, we're going to go past IMS to KOL. Now, KOL have built themselves a wall around their structure. Now, the walls themselves are quite useful to some degree. They stop the pestering of smaller rovers, and you can mount your Gatling gun turrets on them. On this server, since hydrogen is quite rare, so it's kind of rare. I'd say it's more valued than rovers are. So you see an interesting combination of both rovers and hydrogen vessels that you don't see on a lot of other places. We've got the scrapper pads there, so the scrappers can come in and pick up their supplies. But a really cool looking bunker complex with lots of little doors and connection areas to protect the rovers. Of course, these guys are a lot smaller in stature. Anyway, let's continue on. So having a look at KOL, we need to take a look over at, we go past all the no zones. I believe it is ONI next up in the list. So we're back on the dark side of the planet with a little bit of light to shine on this outpost. There we go. So ONI have got themselves a nice big grinding rover like this. We're seeing this is quite a standardized design. Players are really looking for something simple that works and can grind, and it looks like they have built out of what could possibly be one of the spawned in wrecks on this side, and they've built another part to it here, or they have moved something over. I'm not too sure, but looking in here underneath this wreck, you can see that they've got some of the smaller rovers that have been... Oh, this looks really cool. It's like a little farm truck. Very nice indeed. A little rover down there, cargo supply type vessel. We've got a bright pink one over there, and we've got this long damaged submarine type hot rod type of craft. Oh, funky. Let's keep going. So we have next on our entity list, let's scroll ourselves down. We've seen the ONI. We've got the QIC. QIC just have a few turrets and a rover. Let's have a quick peek at that rover. So this looks like a mobile base type design here. Yeah, it's a mobile base, and they're just hiding it down in this canyon, maybe as they construct it. Very cool indeed. Let's continue going down the list. So we've had a look at all of these. We're not having a look at RSB just yet, because they're working on some sort of city type rover project, as you can see in the background. But let's pop over to RTR. Now RTR have lovely reclaimed some of their previous structures from the Mad Max. This was one of the wreckages we'd put in, well, not the whole thing, just one of these tiny buildings here, and they've of course added, extended and changed it. But back in the Mad Max days, they built one of these structures, and we thought it's nice to add creations from previous servers that we've done. So we added one of the buildings in. It was all wrecked, they reconstructed it, built it back up. Of course they had to find the thing in the first place, but they've got themselves a landing pad for when the scrappers arrive, and they've got these lovely turret systems. We were at this base when they were attacked the other day, and there was quite a bit of controversy about it, saying that they were being mean and whatnot. But if someone comes to your base, guys, and it doesn't matter if they're going to be friendly, if they're going to do whatever, if you want to shoot at them, that's all part of the server. Being friendly is cool to an extent, but if everyone's friendly, then what's the point of having any weapons or guns indeed? So as we come right into the middle of the base, we've got a lot going on here. We've got a sky bridge that leads to both segments, where the ships are nicely tucked inside. This was the ship we saw do a little bit of the damage in the action. We've got the bedroom area over there. We've got the staircase that leads down into the lower section. Of course, the lower section having a beautiful welcome message, and it's some sort of Half-Life theme going on here, I'm guessing, with the reception desk. Coming over to their other bunker on the other side, we've got a little bit of work on the interior, I guess, to do here. They're not too sure what to put in these two areas, but it's nice to have the space to extend your production or other things. And they've got a large chunky rover here with a door above each turret. Interesting. Maybe that's so they can drop out and deploy if they need to. Of course, jetpacks are off on this server for them, so they can't just be flying around. They have to have a way up to everything. Anyway, let's keep going. So we're over at the BHA base. Now they've built themselves this fantastic castle out here on the ice, and they've got themselves this massive main gate. They've got 4 bastions to kind of enforce their dominance on the area around them, but sadly it looks like someone's had a go at them, because these things are smoking. But just look at the effort they must have gone into to place each individual block to create this castle effect. Now this wall is thick as well, so you can see it looks like it's one thick, but the upper bastion makes it look super chunky. Of course, one ram through that one thick wall would be straight through. At the front of the base, we've got the landing gear assisted blast door. Quite a strong, sturdy structure, and we've got this welder that looks a little bit overcomplicated for welding, but I guess it probably helps building things. Over on this side, we've got ourselves a little transport rover, and into the main castle facility, we've got a respawn rover on the left. We've got a selection of ships. It looks like they've been building. One's got a funky looking turret on top. Very cool indeed, like a low profile race car there. And they've got access to the upper area where they're keeping their production. A really cool and quite fancy base loadout. So let's head over to Fed next. Now, FED have a habit of doing something that I think is quite funny. They always tend to either miss or arrive at the final server event very late in the past versions. So over at the FED base, you can see they're doing it again. They're stockpiling their vehicles. I mean, this is not a bad thing. This is just, let's hope you get them used this time, guys. So we've got small rovers, we've got a medium-sized rover, not too many turrets on these ships. We've got ourselves a missile turret one, a grindy boy right there. We've got ourselves some sort of trailer, hydrogen siphoning trailer, cool idea. And we have some sort of giant car with Gatling guns, and now that would be quite amusing to see come over the horizon. And of course they've parked everything nicely, perfect for viewing. This battleship does look scary though. This looks like it's some serious meta gaming with the rocket turrets and the Gatlings on the side there. Another one that's similar in sound. I guess that's going to have some grinders or welders on. We've got another grindy one there as well. Some turrets up in the perimeter, and they've got their main base structure down there. And a very interesting connection pod design. Come connect to me. But very nice work there, Fed. Definitely something original in that aspect. I've not seen any development in connector designs for a while. So we've got a printer over in this section, and inside here, I'm guessing we've got wheels. So some sort of wheel protection, I guess, going through into that section, and then they've got their supplies and cargo in there. Very cool indeed. Let's head over to Merlok Joe, see what he's been up to. Now, Joe tends to be a solo, but I'm not too sure if he's working solo on this one himself, but we'll soon see. So over at Joe's base, we've got ourselves thousands of little rovers by the look of it. These are like little disposable turret rovers, all parked quite closely without any blast blocks. I may be advised maybe putting a blast wall between them just in case someone gets a lucky strike and takes out 3 at once. A little bit of effort there. And you've got some larger ones, I'm guessing for construction. You can see his little logo on a lot of these designs, and he's got some hydrogen-based fighters up here as well. He definitely works hard, Joe, on getting some of these things constructed. He's got a welder on a crane up here. I've not seen something like this. I wonder exactly how he's using this. Oh, I guess he's using it to... Is it on a piston as well? Yes, it is. So I'm guessing he's using it to construct a missile, maybe to go into space. I know some players have done it. Fed have got a few different bits in space that we might have a look at if we have time. So there we go, that's Joe's base. Now the last base I want to have a look at is Wizard's. Now Wizard has been roaming the server once again, developing his strategy of rover, but this time he's built himself like a caravan type trailer. So you can see he's got himself a little truck up there at the front with hydrogen thrusters for a little bit of a boost, and it looks like I've caught him in the middle of doing some grinding there, so he's been grinding down the ship. Up in here in the little cargo trailer, he's got himself a mini rover there as well. I think there's a few of them. I'm not too sure if he's exactly solo this time, but you can see he's got a funky little design with a pivoting trailer on the back. Anyway, like I promised, let's jump into space. Now, I believe Fed are one of the few with a lot of designs in space, so let's just head up there. So they managed to get this guy in space, as they've just blasted it up here with massive hydrogen thrusters. Now, space for many players is almost like a safety. So we've got another one up in here. If they get something up in here, they feel like it's safe. Players won't be able to find it. But there's a few things they need to worry about. Number one, running out of supplies. If they run out of supplies up here, they're as good as dead. And number two, there is no jetpack up here. So you've got to make sure that your ship has either some form of gravity or some way of navigating it while you're up here in space, and that is definitely a challenge. Anyway, I'd like to wrap that up there. If you're interested in joining this server, check out the links to our Discord below. All the information can be found there, and I will see you next time.